What's up everybody, this is DeanoGTO, and today we're looking at the upcoming changes in patch 9.22 for the Soviet tech tree. So just going to warn you right now, there's a lot of changes coming for this line. Also, they're adding a bunch of new vehicles. I don't know if these are all coming at the same time, but if they are, holy shit, this may be the biggest change to a tree since the German heavy tank split. Because if you don't know what I'm talking about, the VK3601H used to be a medium tank. The VK3001H used to be a fast medium tank at tier 6. And I honestly think this could be the biggest change since that whole rework happened probably 2 or 3 years ago now. So, just to summarize what's happening, the Object 263 is getting down tiered. The SU-12254, there's no reference to whether or not people will get to keep it or not, but it's been removed, and the Object 263 is becoming the tier 9. SU-100M1 and the SU-101 remain at tier 7 and tier 8. And a new Object 268 version 4, which I'm not particularly happy about, is being put in at tier 10. So the reason I'm not particularly happy about this thing is because it's essentially going to be like a Soviet Jagdpanzer E100. That's probably the best way to describe it. Because it's going to have gigantic ass 152mm guns, it's going to have a ton of armor and stuff. Probably going to turn like an absolute pig, and it's actually going to be relatively quick as well from what I remember, but it just does not look like an interesting vehicle, especially after coming after the 263, which is probably one of the most unique vehicles in World Tanks, in terms of tank destroyers at least. So yeah, big 750 alpha gun after this 130mm monster, honestly a bit of a letdown. I really hope they change the gun this thing's going to get, because it just doesn't fit with the trend of the line. Because I mean, look at this here, rear mounted turret, faster to fire. Rear mounted turret, faster to fire. Rear mounted gun, I should say. Change that to rear mounted gun. Rear mounted gun, faster to fire. Rear mounted gun, really slow rate of fire. Makes no sense whatsoever. Hope they change that. So, light tank line remains the same. Now, when we get to the mediums, a bunch of changes are happening here. The Object 430 used to be a tier 10, but no one cared. I'm just gonna be completely honest. No one gives a goddamn. Nobody gives a damn about the Object 430. So they're going to change it and make it a tier 9 vehicle and add a new version of the Object 430 as a new tier 10, branching off from the tier 9. So it may be a good idea. I am not 100% sure yet, but it may be a good idea trying to accumulate some experience on the T44 in order to get the 430 as soon as it comes out. Then get the 430Y, it looks like it's called. But that'll probably wind up meaning T or something. I don't know. It's weird. As for the F44 line, I'm going to call it the F44 line because a bunch of changes are happening to this line as well. It still continues from the F43 to the F44, Object 416, so all of these vehicles have rear-mounted turrets. Then to the Object 430 version 2, and there's going to be a new tier 10 with a rear-mounted turret and a lot of armor, given what the 432 is like, at the head of this branch. So beware of that. So this is going to be a really interesting branch because it's going to be fast tanks, really terrible gun depression, rear mounted turrets, and a lot of armor. Because these things here, I don't know about you guys, but I really struggle to kill these things. So yeah. And here's probably one of the biggest changes happening. There was initially leaks that the KV-13 was going to be the branch, or was going to be the branch off for the IS-2M, or I think it's called the ISM, as far as I can recall. So there was initially leaks that the KV-13 was going to be the beginning of this branch. However, that has changed. It has now changed to be the IS that's actually going to be the branch off point for this new line. People were complaining that this was like the last remainder of the old school version of World of Tanks. I don't know what that means. Personally, I would have liked it to come off the KV-13. It would give me a reason to play it, because right now I have never touched it. So yeah, the ISM is basically going to be a VKB at tier 8. Essentially the same sort of playstyle. Object 705 and Object 705A. From what I've seen of the leak stats of these things are going to be absolute titans. They are going to be, holy shit. These things are going to have monstrous amounts of armor. They are going to have monster caliber guns. And they are going to be very difficult to kill. I honestly am not really sure what to think about these things. They look like they're going to be absolute powerhouses, and I'm not sure whether to look forward to them or to be afraid of them coming to the game, because they may break the balance of the game. And you also may have noticed what's happening with the IS-7 line. The IS-7 line is losing the T10. The T10 is going to have its own tier 10, which sounds weird because like people usually describe tier 10s as T10s. So yeah, that name's always been a little bit confusing. So T10's getting its own like little branch off from the IS-3 to the whatever this tank is going to be. I assume it's going to be a fast, heavy tank with less armor but more mobility and a faster rate of fire. And the Object 257 is coming in as like a baby IS-7 for this line here, which I'm guessing a lot of people will be happy about, because people always thought of the T10 as being kind of a weird break in the line, because like it was heavy armor, light armor, or lighter armor to then really heavy armor. So this will make it a little bit more flowing. However, for me, I always considered the IS-8 at the time I played it, or the T10 now, as the highlight to this line. It was honestly my favorite vehicle in this line, and it does kind of make me wonder what this tier 10 is going to be like. I may actually like this tier 10 more than I like the IS-7, because the IS-7 was just never a vehicle I particularly liked that much. The IS-7 summed up: go hold down, sit still. That's the IS-7 summed up for you right there. And yeah, also I did hear initially that there were some rumors that the IS-4 swap was going to happen at some point with this patch as well, where they were going to change the ST1 on the IS-4, make the IS-4 tier 9, and make the ST2 the tier 10. And if you don't know what that is essentially an ST1 with double 122mm guns mounted in the turret, and it would essentially use that twin gun mechanic that they showcased with the Halloween event. So that was talked about, but there was never any official leaks about it. So, well, I say official leaks. No such thing as an official leak, but there were no leaks about the ST2 actually making it to the game yet. So it doesn't look like that's happening just yet, but could happen in the future. And I really do wonder how the ST2 could handle at tier 10, because the IS-4, it survives based on its armor, and the armor on the IS-4 is monstrous. The ST1's armor, don't get me wrong, is good, but it's not on the level of the IS-4's. So I'm really wondering how that's going to fare, and how the IS-4 is going to fare at tier 9, because the IS-4 is already a bit of a monster. If it has the same armor profile, same sort of gun and all at tier 9, I think we could have some good competition for the E75 and things like that. And I'm not forgetting about the Object 257 and the Object 705. I have never played these vehicles. I don't know what they're like, but I do know the IS-4 well. And if that thing's at tier 9, we could have a bit of a monster on our hands. So yeah. And as for this here, you can actually see all these details and stuff like this here on the what do you call it, on the World Tanks webpage. You can see medium tanks, new heavy tank line, alternative TD line, how they're going to rework stuff. And here you can see the replacement for the Object 430 at tier 10. Going to have better armor from what I can recall. And a bunch of stuff telling you essentially like how the changes are going to work and things like that there. So yeah, there's the Object 705A. Do I need to say anything more about that gun? That is a Goliath of a gun. I mean, holy shit. That thing would rip anything to pieces. Jesus. And there's the Object 257, I think. Looks pretty interesting. Does actually make a bit more sense than the T10 in the IS-7 line. However, I'm going to miss the T10 being in the IS-7 line, and I'm hoping the T10 line, the tier 10 flat there, gets introduced along with this. But I'm not 100% sure if that's going to happen yet or not. But yeah, the main purpose of this video was to primarily just run over the changes that are going to be happening in the next couple patches. And I also found out about this here from the Armored Patrol's website. So yeah, you can feel free to read this article here. I'll link it in the description. So yeah, I think it's pretty much just the exact same details as the Water Tanks website article, and here you can see that's the tier 10 for the Object 263 line. It's a really interesting looking vehicle, however, I really don't like the gun. If this thing gets a 130mm gun, at least as an option, I will play this thing. I will try and get it. If it has just the 152, then I don't care. I just don't care. I have no interest in having another 750 alpha gun at tier 10 because they are incredibly boring. Because it seems like everything and their granny just has fucking 750 alpha guns at this point. It's just ridiculous. So yeah, and I do realize it does say 650 here, 750 to 650. I still don't care. I want something a little different. I don't want another. I don't care about having another 152 at tier 10. I just don't. So yeah. And also there's been some mixed reactions in regards to this thing here still coming to the game when Wargaming said that we're going to stop doing that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this shakes down. See how, like, let's just see how people react once the test server goes live. And from leaks from the Armored Patrol themselves, actually, it looks like the patch will be coming relatively soon. Oh yeah, so January 18th, first common test. February, around the end, will be the release date for 9.22, and March apparently will be the release of the HD maps. So, gonna be a big few months for World of Tanks. Actually, let's just see, what's this here? Oh no, that's the thing I already had open. Never mind. So, yeah. Let me know what you guys think of these changes coming into World of Tanks, and leave your comments in the comment section below. I personally think a lot of them are cool. I just am not particularly excited about the Object 268 version 4. I just think it's a pretty boring vehicle. I don't really like it. Most of the other changes I am cautiously excited about. Mainly talking about the Object 705s here, because from what I've read, they're essentially Russian super heavies. And yeah, I don't really need to say much more other than that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.